Okay. Let's just double check real quick. Are we on? Are we on yet? Yes, we are perfectly on, in fact. I think, yep, we are on. We are super on. That is awesome. Yeah, just Safari. Great. Doop doop doo. Doop. Alright. That is awesome. Let's go right to here. That is just pretty awesome. Let me just double check what everyone is seeing right now. I'm just super hyped. In fact, I would like to say a quick hello to everybody. Hello! Hope you can hear me. Just let me know if you could, because I don't know if you've noticed, but we... That's right, I am streaming on a Mac again. That's right. Today is Hype Day. You guys can probably hear me correctly, right? Because I had to like redo all of my OBS settings. Thank you, Orhan. Thank you so much. It is just awesome to be with you people again. And today we're doing this a little bit early. I thought that everyone has a chance to participate. Everyone can tell us what their wishes are for April 2021. We have a new Apple event. Well, it's coming in about 48 hours. But already, like, I don't know about you, but whenever an April event or like any event, March, September, October, November, whichever month of the year, when it comes around, I always get super excited for the past 1 to 2 days. And I hope you are as well. Thank you all for tuning in. And Tuna, you have an absolutely amazing icon. But yeah, apologies if this stream is slightly less polished than the other ones. But I just want to say that this is awesome. So, to answer some of your questions, I will be saying what I want, and then I want to hear all of you, hear from all of you what you want from April. What you want for the spring loaded event. So, feel free to voice off if you're watching this live in the live chat section. Tell us what you want, and let's all talk about it. Let's all discuss what's going to happen real soon. That's right. Yeah, sorry, the screen is a little weird because the Mac, my MacBook Pro, of course, it runs in 16:10, and the blue border is just my blue. Great. So, exactly what is rumored for such an event? This is amazing because let's look at Twitter. Now, Twitter has been amazing so far. So, let's go right to April event. Now, what could we expect to see? We could expect to see new iMacs. We could expect to see new AirTags as well. It's great. What announcements? How about let's go right to Mac rumors. Give me just an awesome idea. Everyone will have their idea of what's going on. In fact, it lines up with what I think is going on. So first of all, let's do our own recap, alright? Let's not read, but it helps to have a bit of a background image. So we have the long-awaited AirTags here in the top left. It has been ready since 2018, so these things are meant to be the next tile tracker. Magnetically sticks to whatever magnetic device that you have, and it's supposed to charge that way, And, of course, the objects that you attach said AirTags onto will get tracked in the Find My app. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, or you have a Mac or PC on iCloud.com, you can go onto Find My and locate these items. And in fact, we've covered 2 weeks before that these AirTags are in fact part of the new item tracking ecosystem that Apple just opened up the past 2 weeks. Yes, that's right. I'm tired of hearing AirTags. I'm tired of that because it looks like it's never going to come out, but this is it. If all the rumors are true, this should be it. I know it sounds like the boy who cried wolf. I know it sounds like it. And to be frank with you, I am not the most excited person about AirTags, right? What we really want is a new iPad. But yeah, it's going to be $39, the AirTags, and it's what the rumor says, it's going to be the size of a current Magsafe connector. So it's about 1.5 inch, 2 inches across in diameter. Yeah, but let's talk about the new iPad Pro. In fact, the new iPad Pro, it's going to get Thunderbolt 4. It's going to feature the mini LED display, at least on the 12.9 inch model. Because these iPads, they kind of want to differentiate between the 11 and the 12.9 inch. So the rumors are that only the 12.9 inch will be getting that mini LED display. So only the 12.9 inch, the high-end model, will get the better display. Now, what is mini LED? Mini LED basically has the benefits of OLED. So all the pixels light up on their own, so there's no need for a backlight. And that means the pixels, the sub-pixels light up on their own. And because it's not lit at all when you want to display black or to turn the display off, that means it doesn't take power whatsoever. So it really sounds like OLED, but what's different about mini LED from OLED is organic. It degenerates, it causes image retention or burn-in, which means that if you display something for a very long time, those pixels get burned out quicker and they'll stay on the screen as this, gray haze. That's right. So it does not have the image retention problem of OLED, yet you get the true black leveling of OLED. That is just incredible. Yep, sorry if the live stream is a little bit late. If you're watching this 2:49, I suppose that you're somewhere around the central United States. Yeah. But yeah, it's super cool. The A14x chip is rumored to be almost as powerful and based on the M1 that we've already seen in the 13-inch MacBook Air, the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and of course the new Mac Mini. Now they remove the user replaceable door. Hello, Karaf from California. I wish to be back in the same state as you very, very soon. Thoughts on the M1 Macintosh. Let's talk about the perspective on the iMac first, and then we're going to talk about the M1 Macintosh in general and what that means for Apple in 2021, because who knows, right? There's always a possibility that during the event we're going to see the long fabled 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros with the M1X processor. But the iMac is just incredible. So it's going to have multiple colors. It's going to have the new M1/M1X processors. I think there's going to be different tiers. And, wait for it, it's going to have an all-screen display. So basically just what you've seen on a MacBook, what you've seen on iPad and on iPhone for years, could finally very well come to the iMac. And we've wanted that for years because since the beginning of the iMac, this was all the way back in the late 90s. We've had this big border and this large chin, and then we used that large chin, the bottom of it, to use as a speaker vent. So it's worked great for a decade, but right now, next to the other products, it just looks really outdated. And remember, we have something beautiful called the Pro Display Xdr, which means that we've done a big borderless, beautiful display before. In fact, we have. That is expensive. It is also one of the best displays that Apple has ever made. Ever. Look at this thing. So, a lot of people wanted this design. Well, not exactly with the Pro stand and maybe not as many reference modes, but a design something like this would be super sweet. And you know it's an iMac, which means that the prices are not going to kill your wallet. Andrew, what he said in Cantonese was, what are you talking about today? We're talking about the April event 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're both from Hong Kong. It is super, super awesome to have Andrew join us today. Yeah, I think it's going to adopt some of the Pro Display XDR's design, but I don't think it's going to be as high-end, which makes sense, right? I think the border is going to be slightly larger, a la iPad Air to the iPad Pro, right? So it's going to have somewhat of a downgraded design, and don't forget, you're supposed to incorporate an iSight camera for video conferencing, and, you know, having an iSight camera, a FaceTime camera rather, is really, really important for 2021. I do think that it is what the new iMac would look like. I think it's going to come in multiple colors. I think it's going to come in a display that looks quite like this. And I think it's going to not be terrible. Love to Dream is basically spot on a lot of these things. Would I think that it's going to come in all of the original iMac's colors? I don't think so. Andrew says that he really wants to swap. I don't know. I think he's talking about the iMac, which I would have if I have a desktop Mac to begin with. Unfortunately, I'm on the go a lot, which means I really need a MacBook. So, hope you enjoy your new iMac. And it's funny because there's a lot of Hong Kong Apple fans. In fact, I think Hong Kong is like one of the largest Apple communities in the world. So a quick shout out as well. Green iMac is bad. Andrew says blue is going to be super nice. Well, yeah, I agree with you. Blue is going to be nice. And let's not forget, there's always the wild card. So I think these three are the headline items. But what about the wild cards? What about something that might not happen? It would be great if it happens, but we have no idea when it's going to come out. So throw in a little wild card. So there's this new M1 MacBook Pro. Well, maybe not exactly M1. Rumor has it that it's going to adopt the higher end M1X. I say adopt, but it's not even out yet. So it's probably going to feature M1X. We know that it's going to bring back the SD card slot. We know that it's going to ditch the touch bar in favor of actual function keys, which is important for a lot of developers that are watching this. And we're going to have Magsafe back. That's right, Magsafe is finally returning, apparently, to the MacBook lineup. That's right. So, if you remember Magsafe, which I have a MacBook over here with Magsafe, but unfortunately I'm not going to turn on my camera. Right, it clicks on, right, and then if someone slips on the cable, it flies off, kind of like the new iPhones as well. For those of you that are recently into the Apple fandom, this is what the original Magsafe is, and where the new Magsafe has its name taken from. So it's going to be a little bit more edge-to-edge. It's going to feature M1X. It's going to be larger as well. So the 14-inch, of course, is going to be larger than the 13-inch. And then the 16-inch MacBook Pro is going to have a similar size and weight to the new one. And that's right, Yoshi Egg. They are ditching the touch bar. Now, personally, I find the touch bar... In fact, I'm streaming this from a MacBook Pro with the touch bar. So I have used this machine for about 3 years now. Look, the touch bar is great when it's not buggy. But it is buggy all the time. Catch my drift? So... Hello, Simon. So, yeah. It's... A lot of the time it's buggy, so it's not a great user experience. Certainly not a great way to control your Mac. I can't really rely on it as well as I could with a traditional function row. So Apple is listening. So remember in 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro, you can even see it in the image here, we have a dedicated physical escape key, which is really important if you're a developer, right? On earlier models, the touch bar expands into the escape key, which means that the escape key is also virtual now. It's physical, but now they are turning the entire touch bar back into a physical function row. It's great for, the touch bar is great for video scrubbing. It's great for a lot of multimedia. But unfortunately, it's not reliable enough, and people don't like that. It's not tactile anymore. You kind of have to look at the touch bar, which kind of defeats the point of a keyboard, a point of a physical keyboard for a lot of you. That's incredible. Yeah, Andrew, I would love if you could join the discussion a little more and try to type in English. But what he says was touch bar is pretty useless, in his opinion. So, yeah, that's basically my take. The touch bar is pretty useless. I use it for brightness controls. I use it for volume controls. I use it to scrub videos. But again, it's not that useful, right? And I think a lot of the touch bar functions could be better performed with the function row. So let's take a look at what I think about the M1 Max performance. I think what Tuna is referring to is this. M1x Benchmarks. This is from tomsguide.com. Let's take a look. Right, it's gonna debut as part of the new 16-inch. So we don't know any of that. Let's see here. It has 8 cores in total, and it's a significant upgrade with 12 cores. So it's going to have 4 more cores. Our own testing, it has embarrassingly superior performance. I think it's on CPU Monkey. Let's see. Now, we already know that the M1 chips blasted away some of the current Intel and AMD processors. But it looks like it's going to be 3.2 gigahertz processor, 12 cores. And then we have 16 graphics cores. And then on a 5 nanometer codec. So a lot of these huge improvements, especially when they have unified pool of memory, they have more optimized coding, handles multi-threaded operations much better, which means that draw call rates is going to increase, graphics rendering is going to be more efficient. All of this, and including integration with Metal. Remember, this has native integration with Metal. So previously we've had Intel support for Metal, but that's not as good as Apple SoC Metal. And we're going to see incredible leaps. Unfortunately, OpenGL has been deprecated, but we're going to see a lot of Metal frameworks. In fact, we've already seen a few M1 apps come out over the past couple of months, right? Most recently, you guys know Docker, which what I've heard is a VM software, right? Docker has been amazing. And World of Warcraft, I get to try 15 minutes of it on a friend's M1 MacBook Pro. I gotta say, the performance is amazing. Over 60 frames per second. on average. And yeah, that's on basically maximum settings. So just super, super awesome all the way around. And you could totally expect that it's going to be the same on the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro models coming out today. There's a bit of a caveat, so there'll probably be two models of the M1X, one with 12, one with 16 cores. So I think this is what differentiates from middle to high tier from the top end line of the spectrum. So yeah, it's great. Good Gamer 2357 says, imagine if Apple brings back the Happy Mac on boot with the iMacs. I wouldn't be surprised. They brought back the startup chime with Big Sur. If they wanted to bring back Happy Mac, I wouldn't mind it too much, but I feel like it's going to need a facelift for 2021. So, alright, Orhan, enjoy the rest of your day. So, I would like to hear from you people. What is the wish list? What do you think is the most important feature or product? Whatever you would like to share, I would love to hear them in the live chat. And let's talk about it a little. Yeah, Intel should be scared. Yeah, definitely. Remember how the M1 already kind of blew it away? Right? Both in graphics and raw computing processing. I think the M1X is going to be even further ahead. I think it's going to be around 60 to 70% at least faster than the older model. So, we've got the chimes. We've got some exciting news. And before, while you guys think of, oh yeah, what's next about the April event that you hope to see, that what you guys want, let's talk about the iPhone first. So it's going to have 48 megapixels. It's going to have 8K recording, as you can see. But this is on, not this year's iPhone, but the 2022 iPhones. Perhaps 2023. Now this year, we're going to have Touch ID in the display alongside Face ID. So for the first time, we're going to have two different biometrics. And in fact, it ties into the iPad Pro because iPad Pro could have Touch ID alongside Face ID. Apparently, some case manufacturers included a Touch ID cutout next to the iPad Pro, next to the power button, next to the iPad Pro power button. So, I don't know if there's any truth to this, but we might be seeing something like this very, very soon. I can't find the case images, but there are case images floating around where there's a cutout for the power button ostensibly for Touch ID. So we might be able to see Touch ID and Face ID on the iPad Pro. And again, we already know that this year's iPhone, whether it'll be called the iPhone 12s or the iPhone 13, we don't know. But what we do know is that it's going to have Touch ID in the display. It's not going to be on the power button. It's going to be in the display next to Face ID. Also, too, the 12s or 13 Pro is going to get a 120 hertz option. It's not going to be on the mid-range iPhone 12, iPhone 12s or iPhone 13. It's going to be on the higher-end Pro models. And it's going to have 48 megapixels. It's going to have 8K recording. That will come the year after, and with no mini option. So you guys have seen, you guys have talked about some ideas. So YoshiX says, I want an iPad mini with an edge-to-edge screen. I want one too. Rumor has it that they were doing it last year. They are considering it. But apparently that has been pushed back as of a couple of months ago. That project has been pushed back and is now rumored to come in iPad mini 7. The one after this one. Right? Alongside, I think that Apple is going to fully transition into all-screen design. So we're going to see all-screen iPhone SEs. If they're going to do a new iPod Touch, which I genuinely don't think is all that likely, even though it makes sense for an enterprise, but I don't think they'll make a new model for it. They'll probably spec bump it, and then re-release it for $199 at 64 gigs. Right? It's going to be all screen. It's going to have a camera cutout, and it's going to have a little hole punch. In fact, let's take a look at the hole punch iPhone SE. Now, this is not going to come this year. I don't think so, at least. But it's going to come with a hole punch. That will be, of course, after the highest end iPhones get the hole punch display. Personally, I think it looks like a Galaxy phone. I don't think it looks all that appealing. Alright, goodbye, Andrew. It doesn't look all that appealing. It looks like a Galaxy, and trust me, I live right next to a Samsung flagship store, and every time I walk past and I look at those phones, I don't find them appealing. Well, January Breeze, I find it incredible too. I find it a little bit hard to believe that they would come out with something that is very similar to a Galaxy phone, but that is what the rumor mill says, and a lot of big leakers are kind of backing that up. Well, thank you, Andrew. I thank you for enjoying my videos. It really means a lot. Solidarity, man. Yeah. What will macOS be called this year, Good Gamer says? Well, it's a toss-up. So last year, they kind of rooted out some leakers, remember? Last year, there was a rumor that it's going to be called macOS Redwood, right? That, of course, never happened. So it could be Redwood, it could be Irvine, it could be Los Angeles, for all I know. All we know is that it's going to be a place name from California. macOS Skyline. I don't know. Well, there is a Skyline College next to where I attended college. Yeah. macOS Redwood. And then macOS, haha, 420 joke. You guys are saying it's going to be Skyline. Well, let's see. Because macOS names have never been something that's easily guessable. And even if you have, like, macOS names, it's going to be revealed only, like, a day or two before. So we're going to have to wait until WWDC for that. Tuna says they should do iPad Pro screen design for the iPhone. Well, they kind of already did they? Right? The screen goes up to the edge, right? But I suppose what Tuna meant was they want a unified border. So the border is the same across all of the sides. Kind of like the iPad, so there's no notch, right? I'm placing bets on Redwood on the macOS name. Yeah, so like what Tuna is saying that it wants, that they want the bezel to be uniform on all four sides, which it looks nice, but it will require a bigger iPhone since we haven't yet discovered a way to kind of hide the camera. Well, at least Apple haven't discovered their own way yet. Good Gamer says hole punches look like dead pixels. I tend to agree. Yeah, I think it sticks out a lot more than the notch, because the notch is kind of like a bezel. You kind of expect it to be there, and it will always be there. But with a hole punch, because the entire phone looks like one big display, just one giant display, having a hole punch is a little bit jarring. So I do agree with you. Yeah. Any other April event speculations? It could be any sort of speculations. I would love to hear your ideas. But let's take a look at the other ones. Ipod Gen8. I don't think it's happening, man. I legitimately don't think it's happening. 2EL Dub says, who uses zoom? 10 times is enough. Yeah, 100 times zoom. Have you seen the 100 times space zoom? It looks like a grainy potato. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose you can eventually do it, but that will require like a gigantic camera bump to even look not bad. Hope we get better zoom on the iPhone. Well, it's coming. Rumor has it that they are going with, I don't think it's this year, I think it's next year, or maybe even this year, that they would have like 3 times optical zoom. Or 3.5 times optical zoom. 2L Dub says, yes, use an S21 and it's terrible. Yeah, S21 isn't. It isn't great, all right. It's just yeah, I've used it as 21. I mean, it looks great. The design looks pretty good, but the user experience is just any old Galaxy. It does not have the polish. Good Gamer says, I want a better 10 times zoom for blind spotting. I don't know, is 10 times zoom enough? But having said that, I use 10 times zooms to take pictures of the moon. If you want, I can share my iPhone moon pictures with all of you later. January says, honestly, Samsung, please stop the whole Zoom thing. Yeah. They should stop, not the Zoom app, not the video conferencing app, but yeah, the Zoom thing. I think it's a bit of a gimmick, especially when the images aren't that great. It's not exactly an astrophotography camera. But what else is in the April event? Let's go steer right back to the main story here. So, yeah, what do you guys... I would like to ask you guys, what do you guys think about the Touch ID, Face ID, potential iPad Pro, right? Do you think Thunderbolt 4 is going to make a huge difference? Do you think it's a worthy upgrade, especially when the design is going to look very, very similar? I know that you guys don't like AirTags, right? I'm also not that big of a fan of AirTags. I think AirTags genuinely is and not that big of a deal. But I could be wrong. But what I'm genuinely excited is for Mini LED. I'm a little bit bummed because it looks like they're not going to bring it to the 11-inch iPad Pro. Okay, so someone has a question for me. I'm going to wait until they ask the full question. Face ID and Macs. First off, excellent question. But Face ID on Macs is very, very possible. Have you seen the Face ID MacBook prototypes? Because I feel like some of you haven't. Alright, so it's from Wired and iMore. Face ID components. Testing Face ID Mac prototypes. Let's go to idownloadblog.com. Yeah. Yeah, there are some Face ID Mac prototypes in testing in Cupertino right now. Oh boy, we ran into a beautiful, beautiful yet common Safari error, which it was reloaded. But yeah, Face ID is coming. I'm pretty sure because it's just natural, right? Usually you have your desktop right in front of your face and it scans at an angle that is very, very good for facial recognition. So I think it's going to come to the Mac no problem, especially when it adjusts itself to different lighting conditions and different orientations. So the tilt back and forth is great. Of course, they don't have to do landscape because there's only one orientation for a Mac display. Mac prototypes with touchscreens, but yeah, that is some old news because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen with Macs because they're already announcing that they're not going to merge Mac OS with iPad OS. Mac OS with Touch OS, what? Mac OS with iPad OS? So, yeah, slim to none that they're doing touchscreen Macs. Well, that was, okay, to be fair, that was in 2019, and he said that around 2019, 2020. So I think it has held up well. This article precedes what he said about touchscreen Macs. Yeah. GoodGamer2357 says, I want an AirTag as someone who has a tile. If they act like AirPods, the tracer I want. Yeah, yeah. It's great. It's awesome. Yeah. if it has tile support, I would be happy to try one out. But it will probably kind of be like the Magsafe puck, where I bought it and I never used it, save for like 1 to 2 times. He also said that I wouldn't mind the Retina Macbook to return and the dome switch too as well. Well, it's too thin for its own good. I would love one for my collection, and it's still a very usable Mac, and it's one of those ultra portable Macs that I have. Unfortunately, it's priced way too high for the very few things it could do. It's $12.99. I would rather get a MacBook Air, right, which is only $9.99. And then, you know, it has more ports, it has a better display, better keyboard, better everything, right? And better Touch ID as well, right? Because Touch ID didn't come to the Mac until 2016, and that was with the MacBook Pro, so the Retina MacBook did not have Touch ID. Yep. Someone else said that I want the iPad Mate's design to look like an iPad Air 4. Yeah. Yeah, of course. We've discussed that before earlier in this live stream. And it'll come later. It'll not be coming this year. That's pretty certain. But it'll come soon enough. Having an M1 in it would be great, and have it lower than the Air. You talk about the iPad Pro, or you're talking about whichever iPad? Imagine Apple making a tone on. Okay. It's a response to that. A transformer? Nah, that's kind of like a refrigerator and a washer. They try to do 2 great things at once, but ended up kind of mediocre and petering out in both. Right? Either you make a great tablet or a great desktop experience. I don't think you can really cross the two that way. I personally don't think so. And yeah. We're super, super close to 5,000 subscribers, man. Wow. We're just so close. Whoever gets to be my 5,000 subscriber. I don't know. I'll get you something nice. No promises, though. Because I have no idea how to give iTunes Store gift cards to, like, maybe one lucky winner. No promises. Don't hold me to it. Oh, Icon didn't give out the card. I genuinely don't know. If I could figure out how, I would. Alright, no promises. Okay, Good Gamer says, I was talking about the MacBook. What if they brought up a 360-degree Mac? First of all, let's answer the first one. The Retina MacBook, yeah. The return, M1, I think it would suck out a lot of the battery, because they barely could get 9 hours, and that's fitting the batteries in a Terrace system. Of course, they adopted it for other newer MacBook models, but I don't think it's going to be a long laster anyway. Well, it's not going to suck power. Forgive me. It's going to kind of sip power. But I think there are some power and thermal requirements. There are some for the M1. And I would just like to see if it is a very good design thermally as well. TL Dub, they should create a Craig Edition Apple Watch. No, they shouldn't. Every Apple Watch is Craig Edition Apple Watch. Well, more like the one that they, more like the one that they are giving to Craig, or rather, Craig picked. I've been to Apple Park a couple of times. In fact, you know what? Go ahead and check out some of my Apple Park videos. So go to my channel page and they can search Apple Park. You will find those videos. I'm telling you, those are one of the best, most fun videos I've ever shot on my iPhone. That's right, all my videos are basically shot on iPhone. So if you wanna take a look for yourself what Apple Park is like, I live in the Bay Area when I'm back in the US. I live in the Bay Area. So I get to visit Apple Park very often because it's really 45. And remember the Route 284 that's on the Maps icon? Right? If you guys still use Apple Maps, I go down that route every single day. Do you see that? You know, that little path from designed by Apple in California, that little highway. You know what? Let me show you that. Designed by Apple in California. And let's mute the audio so we don't get copyright claimed here. Okay. Videos. And then here. I have 4 shirts, Good Gamer. I have 4 shirts. And I also have a tote bag. But the tote bag that's like $25 is actually pretty low quality. This highway. I bit down this highway for like 3 times. You know what? In case you missed it, let me show it to you again. This highway. This is Highway 284, California. I've been down this highway a couple of times, and let me tell you, if you have a chance to come to San Francisco, come to the Bay Area, if you're visiting America, and you're going to Apple Park, get on this highway. I'm telling you. Really. So yeah, go look at my Apple Park videos. It's going to be a fun time. On the topic of the 360-degree Mac and its cooling requirements, maybe a suggestion would be given air intakes at the bottom. Yeah, both of you. Talk about the 360-degree Mac. They've tried it before. It's called the Trash Can Mac Pro. Wonder how that turned out. I don't think it should be a cylinder. I think it should be a tower. A standard box tower, kind of like an a la smaller 2019 Mac Pro. Right? More space efficient, just a better design for modularity and upgradability. Because I personally don't think that a cylinder should be used for a computer. It's bad, and even you can't really tuck it next to a wall, you can't tuck it next to a cabinet, you can't tuck it next to anything. Cheese grater pattern, of course. Have you heard that they're exploring the cheese grater patterns in like iPhones and iPads and other Macs? Yeah, they're actually doing that. They are actually doing that. The 360-degree MacBook with the rotating hinge I was talking about that turns into an iPad. So you're suggesting a Lenovo Yoga. The only reason why I know about the Lenovo Yoga is the Lenovo Yoga is my friend used to own one. It's pretty bad. It's a pretty crappy laptop. It's also a pretty crappy tablet. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I've used one for like an hour before. It's pretty bad. Convertibles are pretty bad, and there's a good reason for it, right? Speaking from experience, from like this Mac is my main computer, this MacBook Pro, and then I have a PC sitting right next to it. You've seen in one of those videos I've shot, but PCs could be all right. It's pretty average, nothing interesting, but they're all right. But it's just, January says, I owned a rotating laptop and it's a gimmick. Yeah, it is a gimmick. It's pretty gimmicky and it's not great. The user experience is not great. If they come out with like a transformer with a great user experience, be it from Apple or anyone else, let me know. I'll be glad to try it out. But right now, I have no faith. Great point by January Breeze. It's really heavy to hold. Well, yeah, basically because you're just holding a laptop with a touchscreen. Yeah. But what else about the April's? What can we derive from the April event? Trash can will be the G4 Cube collectability wise. I think that's it for the April event. I don't think there's going to be a lot of devices. We're going to see AirTags. We're going to see the new iPad Pro. We're going to see the new iMac. I don't think the MacBooks are ready yet for prime time. There'll be new MacBooks around WWDC, or at the latest maybe September. September, October. My bets are they'll be at WWDC. That's my take. There is none. That's why they're not doing touchscreen Mac OS. April event is going to be Tim and Craig being high for an hour. I don't know. I wish, though. Also, too, if you guys are wondering if I'll be making like a kind of like a supercut, well, not exactly a supercut, but like a meme edit. Supercut is basically reserved for WWDC. Everything else is a meme edit, but it's very, very similar. Both of these types of videos are very, very similar. I'll be doing one, which means that it's going to be a busy day for me. It's really not ideal for illustration. Yeah. My ex-girlfriend owned one, and it's just bad. Yeah. She's an artist. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. But yeah, I think we got a pretty good idea of what's happening in April event 2021. Right? All that's really left is what's going to happen. So here's the thing. If you join my Discord, tomorrow I'm going to whip up a April event bingo card. So you guys can play along. Go to my Discord, check out the bingo card, discuss with others. We have a dedicated channel for the April event. So you guys can hop in and join us as well. I would love to see you there. It's great. Yeah. MacBook SE. I don't know. If they do a MacBook SE, please make it $799. But yeah, go to my Discord server. I would have a bingo card for all of you. Well, later, not now, but I'll do it in the coming few hours. I need to go to dinner first, and then I would get that bingo card made for you guys. There's already one bingo card that everyone can use, so go there. I'll put up the bingo card that someone has made, and then we can all play along. Wouldn't that be awesome? I think it's awesome. So yeah, the live stream will be around here. That's basically the entire wish list of the April event, right? And your thoughts on it. So that is super, super awesome. We're closing in on 5,000 subscribers. So remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. You're just seeing the new posts that we are putting out basically every single day, right? We thought we'd have some fun with the community tab. We'll post something fun. And if you're just rediscovering this channel, remember we do live streams every single week, and before huge Apple events like these, we'll do one special. We'll do special ones. So, yeah, but the live stream will basically be over around here. Yeah, I would love to put together videos. I'd love to get to work on a lot of different things. So unfortunately, I couldn't stay too long. But thank you guys for tuning in and turning out today. I almost said turning out and tuning in. Yeah, it's been awesome. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. It's been great. See you in the Discord server. And see you in my next video. Enjoy your afternoon, enjoy your midnight, enjoy wherever you are. Have a good morning, evening, night, whatever. I'm not a Jim Carrey movie. But hope you enjoyed this live stream, and hope you enjoy the April event. So, with that in mind, goodbye. You can see my OPS panel. I'm gonna click this button now.